In open wheel racing, there is always 3 rounds that are specifically called the Triple Crown. Now, you don't necessarily see it anymore in IndyCar racing, but in iRacing, we still have the chance to bring it back, and that is what Velocity Online Racing is doing. And they have a round at Texas earlier this season. Round at Michigan earlier this season. Of course, the Indianapolis 500-kilometer race. And this one, Pocono Raceway. Round number 3 of this Triple Crown, but it's also round number 9 of the VOR IndyCar Series season. As we welcome you into the honeymoon capital of the world, it is the Pocono Raceway, and it is here on the Captain eSports Network. 78 degrees, 55% humidity under partly cloudy skies, with 4 mile an hour winds and more as we get ready for 500 kilometers in 125 laps of racing around this 2.5 mile oval here in the IndyCar Series from VOR. I am the Captain, Chris Scala. We welcome you in as we get you ready for racing from the Poconos. And cars are out there qualifying right now as they'll get out there, run 2 laps, and whatever the fastest lap is, that'll be the lap of record. And we go from there. So it should be a pretty fun race to be a part of here at Pocono. Always tricky with the draft, and of course a lot of straightaways, different size corners, from the 15 degrees over in turn 1, of course, that is shaped after Trenton. Turn 2, Indianapolis, the 9 degrees over there, and of course 6 degrees over at the Milwaukee Mile version over at the turn 3 section of the track. And of course all the draft down the front straightaway there as you see a car going by. But qualifying is currently underway right now. Let's take a look at the point standings as we enter round number 9 here this evening of the race. Thomas Geisler leads over Oben and Altena, Sudik, Kraus, Musselman, Morera, Tucker, Kinder, and Von Knell. Your top 10 as we enter the points going into this race. And again, this unfortunately was a race that was ran earlier this season, but due to some illness on my end, was not able to get it broadcasted last week, so I do want to get it out there to the guys. But here's the series schedule for next season. This season is already complete. We did the last race last week, but season number 8 will come up in January the 14th at Homestead Miami Speedway. Of course, Worldwide Technology Raceway Gateway Circuit of the Americas, Iowa, Red Bull Ring, Indianapolis for 2 weeks in a row, the Milwaukee Mile, Talladega for the first time, back here to Pocono on April 8th, and then Long Beach in Auto Club Speedway to conclude the season in April. So lots of great racing to go here when we get back next season, but definitely wanted to get this race out there on the air. Nashville was the week before. I did not load the right one in, so give me 1 second, and I will get you the race information here for the Pocono Raceway. Just make sure I load in the right one. I clicked on Pocono, but it's not the right track. That one over here is the right one for the Pocono 500. Here's your information tonight. Again, 2.5 mile track, 125 laps, 500 kilometers with a 45 mile an hour speed limit here in the 6th running of the Pocono 500, which is going to be wrapping up qualifying here in less than 30 seconds or so. We'll get ready to go racing and get ready to rock and roll. And as I mentioned, in case you didn't hear me correct, this is a race that was done, 3 weeks ago. But unfortunately, due to things coming up and illness and stuff like that, I was unable to get it broadcasted. The regular season finale, or the finale, is done. We did Long Beach last week live, and of course, Jesper Omen winning the championship there. But we still wanted to get this race broadcasted out to the people, and that's what we're going to do here tonight. While we got some time here on this Saturday afternoon, right about the time slot we would be racing in the series, a little bit later. But appreciate Dan Morera for shooting me the replay, and here we are, ready to rock and roll this evening as the cars start to grid. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for this race. 16 cars taking the grid, and it will be Cameron Boston on the pole, 41.401 second lap. Great lap on his part. And he will start on the pole alongside Jose Granado, who won the Phoenix race earlier this season. Row number 2, Luke Daniels and Fran Herrera. They'll take row 2. Row 3, Matthias Kraus and Sebastian Kinder. Julian Altina, he'll start 7th alongside the Indianapolis winner, Thomas Geisler. Matthias Strauss, Dan Herrera there in row number 5. Row 6, Patrick Kraus and Jesper Omen, starting there in the 12th position. Row number 8 is, or make that row 7, Nick Sudik and AJ Musselman. Diego Pereno and Cesar Cabral will take row number 8 here in the Pocono 500. So again, 16 starters about to go rocking and rolling here this evening. Cars have not rolled out yet. You can see them over there on pit road. There they are. And about to go green for 125 laps and 500 kilometers. And the cars pull away here for the one pace lap they'll get before the green flag. As I mentioned, Pocono, a 2.5 mile track. This track, built back in the 1960s, was built originally for IndyCar racing. Of course, as you know, the Cup cars have ran here a heck of a lot more than IndyCar has. And we actually haven't seen IndyCar come back since the tragic accident that took the life of Justin Wilson. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was the race afterwards. Then they run the, if I remember correctly, the Robert Wickens wreck. But some think Pocono is just too dangerous. But it's a track that a lot of people love racing. In IndyCar, it's actually very fun to race here. And it looks like Cesar Cabral having some issues, blinking out a little bit there. Hopefully he'll be able to get that fixed. Pretty much going to be wide open there through the tunnel turn. Down here to turn 3. This will probably be the biggest part of the handling right here on this track. This lower banked turn number 3, which has, again, shades of the Milwaukee Mile on it. As cars work their way through turn 3. And as I mentioned, 125 laps, 500 kilometers, which is 312 miles. Around this Pocono Raceway, the tricky triangle pace car is in. Cameron Boston going to lead them to the green flag here in the 3rd and final round of the Triple Crown. Round 9 from Pocono, green. And Jose Granado at a great start. As they go down to turn 1, a reminder, our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online. You can check them out on Facebook. They're also in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As they work their way up over 200 miles an hour down the back straightaway into the tunnel turn. One car almost catching the wall there. Boston getting sandwiched 3 wide right now. Ronaldo there in that orange and white livery as they work their way down the Long Pond straightaway. Everybody giving each other room right now. Sebastian Kinder side by side with Cameron. Luke Daniels also in here at this battle. There's Luke in that VOR car, the inside that 98. Lap times around here at about 41 seconds or so. As I mentioned, the draft does play a role here, but dirty air also plays a role here. There's your Indianapolis winner, Thomas Geisler, I should say. Look at the back of Thomas. He rolls out of the throttle here. Holman, good run off the top side there. Crosses over, goes to the bottom here. If he can get the draft in the right spot here, he could make the pass. No push to pass available here for these cars. Just realized that give me 1 second, I'll fix the label on the race. Not the Long Beach Grand Prix, we already did that. Hear all the shifting and stuff. Not going to shift too much, but enough. Thomas giving plenty of room over there in turn one. Got to be careful. There's a bump actually in turn one, right in the middle of the track. That's probably what he's going around there to keep this car out of trouble. And caution is out. Cesar Cabral with issues. And he's already towed, he's having terrible linking issues and stuff. Well, caution is out here for the first time. Lap number 5. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you the replay or not. He is having terrible blinking issues right now. Oh, right there. Okay, there's the wreck. He's just going on the track and he comes back on the track, but just having terrible issues with blinking. And he was down there and he hit one of the manhole covers and the car just spins around. So first caution out with Cesar Cabral, unfortunately having some bad luck and some issues. I hit the wrong button. Reception. Give me a second. I screwed up. At least the good news is with Cabral, I can go back to the last lap he finished. All right. All right, so right here the caution comes out, so apologies on that. This is why I was talking about adding that thing to my feature where I can just move to the next lap or something instead of hitting the live button. All right, stand by for one quick second here. Got a little issue on my hands here. We're going to pause the race here. You can go right where we are. All right, got his back. All right, there we are. Back we are. Apologies for that. I hit the wrong button. It basically fast forwarded to the end of the race. And because it's a recorded race, I had to go back out, load in a live session to get the SDK to cooperate. And it's, yeah. Shenanigans, we'll call it. All right, so caution one out. Caesar Cabral, unfortunately, wrecking off of turn one. And I see something has happened to AJ Musselman. Who is now taking his car behind the wall. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's see if we get any cars coming to pit road here. Maybe to top off fuel. All right, pace car light's still on. We'll go green here in about 2 laps or so. Of course, this season kicked off all the way back at the Texas Motor Speedway. First 2 races at Texas and Michigan won by Jesper Omen. And from there, Jesper's just kind of coasted away. Missed a couple of races here and there, but with the drop weeks allowed and things like that has allowed him to win the championship, of course, in the series. And the question is tonight, can he get his second of 3 Triple Crown wins, potentially? Now, the caution laps, you noticed the pace car lights are off. That's because one thing that Julian's tried to do is shorten up the pace laps and stuff when we go back racing. So that's going to allow this green flag to come out right now instead of being one to go this time by. So we're going to go green. 14 cars left on the lead lap, and Granado going to lead him to the green. We did have some cars come in and top off, and that's been led by Jesper Omen back here at lap number 6. Omen, Morera, Sudik, Kraus, Pereno, and Altena all came to pit road to top off the fuel cell right there. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that here, I think, throughout this race, especially if we get a good green flag look here as Kinder jumps around Boston for the 2nd position. Kinder in that Patriots car. Of course, went to victory lane at the Nashville Super Speedway, his first career win. Luke Daniels working his way around Boston, who almost got the outside wall there. So they worked their way to turn 1. Then you see Matthias Kraus going by also in the 59 car. See the draft snake already starting to form here. This was a track on the schedule that we actually ran a practice race on earlier in the season to get the guys some laps and let them make sure the setup was going to be good to go. And everybody gave it a positive report. So you see Jesper Omen now going by. That's Fran Herrera, who's fallen back. Morera's gone by also. Morera passes Herrera. Thomas Geisler poking his nose out there. The Indianapolis winner to the inside. And he'll pass Boston. So Cameron falling back here a little bit here at the start of this race. As Oman makes the pass, so Cameron, not sure if he's in a fuel save mode or just not up to speed or something. He's kind of falling back here a little bit. Zach Spreitzer watching on the broadcast. Appreciate Zach watching and seeing him on the track a little bit. Meanwhile, up front, I think we're going to see a battle for the lead here shape it up. That is Sebastian Kinder looking to put some pressure. Trying to break the draft of Granado, who's led the first 11 laps of this race. Yeah, little blip of the throttle. That was it from the leader. Wide open through the tunnel, down to turn 3 short chute. Wow, he's pretty much wide open there. That's impressive. These tires get up to tap, you start seeing some really interesting things on a track like this. Marrero moving up to the 8th position past Matthias Strauss. Should mention our cameras tonight presented by Track Cams 22. Again, check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums. All different types of looks you can get from different track types. The stadium trucks that you can watch, you can see, you can get cameras for that. You get fan cameras where you can actually go out and watch a race like you're a fan in the stands. Spotter cams and stuff like that, all there for you at trackcams22.com. Check out their packages they have to offer. We ride on board with Marrero, 8th position here. Best lap there for Marrero that time by 41.81. Might be feeling a little bit of a tow there from the car ahead, which is the Cameron Boston, number 86. Trying to snake and break the draft up. Car on the move right here. Jesper Oman all the way up to the 4th position after restarting around the 10th position. Jesper only 2.28 seconds back, and he's all over Matthias Kraus here for the 3rd position now. You see right behind them Thomas Geisler, Luke Daniels battling for the 5th spot, and Thomas makes that move on by. Kraus trying to break the draft, but Oman, plenty of room topside here. Should be able to drive it right into turn 1 here. Sure does. Now, obviously on a road course, no push to pass, or on a road course. On a track like Pocono, no push to pass or anything like that, just straight up racing. Obviously the draft plays a pretty big deal. Rava Kraus now in the 59 car. And the reason why you see these cars get out here and run the top side or run the bottom side is to put clean air on their nose. They're trying to make room, because if you run directly behind the other car, you're going to fall back because of the dirty air and stuff like that. So that's why you see the 59 kind of poke his nose out there, get some air on the nose, and allows him to kind of hold his downforce. Really able to make up any kind of time on Granado and Kinder. Just continue to kind of drive away here from the field. Check back here on Moreira as he continues to work with Cameron Boston to try to get around him. And behind him, Matthias Strauss and then Fran Herrera trying to take some spots away. Herrera kind of fell back there early in the run, but now it's more of, I think he's just kind of getting back into a rhythm and getting going here. Other cars having some issue. I see Sudik back in 11th right now. He's 8.6 back. Pereno, Kraus, Altina, those guys kind of backwards a little bit there, standings-wise and time-wise. You wonder if maybe there's some fuel save going on in those cars. Remember, we do have 80% fuel now in these cars. 80% being all of course, now I got to remember the number, 14.8, I believe it is. Which should only allow you about 25 laps or so on a tank of fuel. So probably going to see 4 to 5 stops here coming to pit road. All right, so Jesper Oman, you see he's knocked it down to 1.7. About the point where you might start to see some handling coming into play a little bit. Of course, his tire wear kicks in a little bit. You got your settings done when it comes to the anti-roll bars and also the weight jacker and stuff. Front 4 all within 2 seconds of each other, and then it's about 4 seconds back to Geisler and Daniels, who have fallen back a little bit here. But one thing's for sure, though, a lot of those cars are right on top of another. Let's look back here. So you got Luke Daniels here in the 6th position, and it's about a second and a half back to Cameron Boston. And then after that, you've got Moreira, you've got Herrera, you've got Sudik and Strauss all on top of another here within a second of each other. These guys are going to be able to kind of ride and draft a little bit and maybe some fuel save, but at the same time can battle for position here. So you see Strauss kind of get up the track in that Husky chocolate car. You can kind of see the train of cars going up the straightaway. And Kinder has now started to fall off the leader a little bit here, so you wonder if his car is starting to get a little aero tight. That's allowing Oman to get even closer now. You get within about a second and a half, and you're in that draft. And Granado coming to pit road. Lap 25, as I called it. 5-stop race here, or 4-stopper to the finish of this race. So he's going to pit right on the 25 number. Should be 4 tires and fuel. And you don't have to worry about it all going a lap down here on this track with how big it is. Just hit your marks, get a 4-tire pit stop in, and fuel and go. And there goes Granado, 8.6, good stop there. And hands this lead now to Sebastian Kinder. And here come the leaders right here, so. So it's a couple extra laps of fuel they got in their car. They should be able to go, I would say, another 4 to 5. And here comes Omen, going to go for the lead. And drives right past the 58 car, the Nashville winner. Sebastian Kinder losing the lead to Jesper Omen. Who all of a sudden is taking off, and here comes Kinder to pit road now. Kinder, one of the cars not to pit in that first caution. Here comes Geisler. Here comes Luke Daniels. Here comes Fran Herrera, turns it sideways. I was going to say, Kinder a little tight to his pit stall here. All these guys rolling out. 4 tires and fuel, and here comes Jesper, who is on it. Not wasting any time, going full tilt. You know, I was wrong about the lap down part. Luke Daniels going to lap down. Here he's coming up on Geisler now, going to have the momentum down the Long Pond straightaway. This will give us a good sign of how fresh tires will work against used tires here. See if Geisler can get around Omen. If not, that could be very interesting to see, that the older tires could hold off new tires. There goes Geisler making the pass, so unlaps himself. Omen going to keep fighting. So Matthias Strauss now on pit road. He just left his pit stall at 8.3. So everybody's made their stops now. It's just a matter of waiting on Omen, Morera, Sudik, Pereno, Kraus, and Altena. Those 6 cars to make their pit stop, which should come here in the next 2 or 3 laps, depending on how much fuel save they've done. Of course, Jesper's been going at a faster pace than these other cars, so you wonder how much the 2 has burned compared to the others. That's 8.6 seconds over Dan Morera. 10 seconds back is Sudik. 13 back is Pereno. 15 back is Kraus. And then here comes Altonen out of pit road. So Julian is in. Here comes the 2. Julian way off the pace for some reason here. I'm not sure what's going on here. He didn't warn me of any kind of like off the paceness or something. But when you see the leader right behind you on a 2.5 mile track this quick in the race, something's not right. And now Julian's on pit. He must have got the wall or something, because he is just sitting here on pit road now. Jesper Omen's gone. And right there you see Granado go by. You can technically say the undercut there, even though Granado was ahead. Dan Morera, Nick Sudik on pit road. On a pit road that's not necessarily flat. It is uphill, downhill. Let's watch the Morera pit stop right here. His pit crew of convicts, I guess. It's a good product of having somebody who saved the replay in the race. You can watch the replay live of his pit stop. 8.4 for Dan Morera. All right, so that'll cycle everybody back around here after the first round of pit stops. About 8 laps or so separation of the stops amongst the drivers. And Jose Granado leads Jesper Omen by all of 0.2 of a second. So Jesper showing the pace that he has in that 2 car. Once again, Matthias Kraus is in third. Matthias 2.9 seconds back. And then right behind him, of course, Sebastian Kinder in the 58 car. Your Indianapolis 500-kilometer winner, Thomas Geisler, 5th position right there. Oh, and where's that 8 car going? Oh, into the inside wall. Matthias Strauss, unfortunately, goes off the track. That'll keep the green out, but that's a lick. What happened here? He gets the outside wall and then beelines it to the inside wall, and unfortunate deal. Unfortunate there, and we'll stay green. Meanwhile, for the lead here, Omen to the outside of Granado. And got him. So Omen to the lead. Omen all the way back from started all the way back in 12th and now leads this race. See his fastest lap there, a 41.42, which, by the way, shout out to SDK Gaming. You see the kind of new feature I've added into the broadcast now, where you see the car that person is driving, so you can kind of identify who's who. When you look down at the bottom, you'll see who I'm focused on. You can see what car they're in. And yes, for Omen there in the Indy Alliance Racing number 2 car. As we're coming up on the 100-mile mark of this race. Already just the 1 caution so far, which, by the way, was the first caution in 2 oval races. Nashville was caution-free. It was the second ever caution-free race in league history. And I think according to Twitter, it was 6th, was it? I forget the exact number, but the fastest, one of the fastest races in league history. As Kraus and Kinder continue, I think, to try to draft with each other to get up to Granado. You see Julian Altena going a 2nd lap down in the 11th position right now. Thomas Geisler, Luke Daniels kind of in a draft together. Dan Morera's right there with him. So is Cameron Boston. And then Sudik is about 2.2 seconds back. And Diego Pereno had a terrible stop apparently or something, because he is some 47 seconds back, so obviously he's been lapped. So that means we got 9 cars on the lead lap here. You can just see that something fuel number wise here. There's I wonder if Omen realizes pitting at the caution he did. He's able to go fuel map 1 and just go. And by allowing that to happen, on Granado did not pit at the first caution, he can't maybe go full tilt. And that's what's allowed Omen to just drive away 3.2 second lead. As here comes Kraus up behind him, and then of course, as I mentioned, the Kinder car. I am very intrigued by the different lines you're seeing out here on the track. That's something I've actually been talking to Chris Lewis about, who, of course, used to run TI's IndyCar League, and, of course, I'm a part of the TI team when I race and stuff. And one thing I brought up to him was about wanting to run more of these IndyCars. I mean, I always get in the mood to run them. I just never get a chance to run them too much. And would love to get out there, race some more in them, learn more. I mean, I've obviously driven stock cars all my life with console games and stuff, so I've gotten used to driving the Indy car and know how to drive it and kind of control it and things like that. It's just a matter of just running laps. Road courses, yeah, forget about that. I got to work on that one. As Julian Altina just wrecked on pit road. That car is facing 4 different ways going straight. Oh, what happened to the 31 car here? Those are a wild ride into the inside wall, unfortunately. All right, so another car out of the race, so we're down to 9. As we just passed the 1/3 mark here, 100 miles. And this 312 mile race, 500 kilometers. And there's your top 3, all right here within 4 seconds of each other. In fact, let me see if I can talk you through a lap here at the Pocono Raceway. Let's go on board with Jesper Omen. Down to turn 1 here. You can run any lane. Basically, you won't be on the bottom. You're in clean air. You're in the lead. Just go to the bottom. Almost wide open. You heard a little blip of the throttle. 5th gear all the way down Long Pond straightaway here. And you're wide open through the tunnel. Do not want to touch that apron. There's a bump down there waiting on you. In turn 3 and 4 later, he's pretty much wide open. That's impressive. You can get the right apex and angle there. You can definitely do that. Let's watch his speeds around this track now this time. See him at 222 down to turn 1. Philip Grouse on pit road, 217, 218. Oh, yeah, he's definitely in map 1. Little blip of the throttle right there. I mean, he never, barely down below 210, so was an average lap probably around 209 to 212, somewhere in that range probably. He's absolutely flying around this place. Well, there you go. Last time by 41.8, so. And just to show you how much of a track this is compared to like a stock car track, you know what, NASCAR's running, what, 53, 54 seconds around here? These guys are going 41. It's kind of like Brickyard. Same thing. Lap times around there about 40, 41 seconds, depending on speed and or turbo and stuff like that. And here you got the stock cars going about 52 to 53 around there. As these guys try to draft off each other, maybe doing some fuel save. Daniels leads the pack with Geisler, Morera, Sudik, all in this pack of 4 here. Pit window should be opening up here in the next 3 laps to get the guys for the first cycle of pit stops on the pit road. So Granado, Kraus, Kinder, Daniels, Geisler, all those guys will come to pit road coming up in the next couple laps here. And of course, the guys that pitted at the 1 caution, they'll be on pit road a couple laps later. But just the 1 caution so far in this race, and it's the only one we've had in the last 2 oval races. Basically, it was Caesar Cable having some connection issues, kind of losing it on the Long Pond straightaway on the apron and going into the inside wall as Granado comes to pit road. Four tires and fuel for the 80 car. He pulls away. He's going to try to undercut Jesper Oman, but unfortunately he's lost so much time. I don't know if that's going to be really possible because Jesper is in his own zip code right now, speed-wise. He's hanging out there on the edge. Almost got the outside wall there. You see he had to blurp it because look at the speed, 42.2 on that lap. That's 5th and 6th battling here now. As Morera's moved to the lead of this pack here. So you wonder if these guys are maybe alternating to try to save a little fuel whenever they can. But then again, the way Morera's driving right now, I don't know if you're saving fuel because he's trying to break the draft of these guys. Oh, Geisler went to make a move on Morera. Daniels went to make a move on Geisler. Now he's going to make a move on him. I wonder if Geisler was calling that he was pitting. Because here comes the 16 to pit road, lap 51. Right in the window to go 3 stops the rest of the way. I should say actually 2 stops. Do the math, Scala. Come on. what happens when you take a nap in the middle of the day. 4 tires and fuel for the Indianapolis winner. And he pulls away. 9.1 second stop, so kind of slower actually for Geisler. As Kinder, Luke Daniels now come to pit road. Speed limit 55 miles an hour all the way down. And maybe a speeding penalty for Kinder because Luke Daniels just pulled away. And you would think, man, it's got to be so easy not to get a pit road penalty because you got the pit road speed limiter going into the pits. But you got to remember, you got to still get down from, what, 200 and something miles an hour in turn 3 down to 55 at the entrance of pit road. Limiter can't save you on that one. As you see, Geisler and Daniels back at it where they left off. That's 54 laps in the books. Kinder just finally leaving pit road. He's going to lose almost 2 laps. Unfortunately, not the way you want to back up a Nashville win. As here comes Cameron to pit road now in that 86 car. Eight laps from the halfway point here in this 6th running of the Pocono 500K. Of course, Pocono on the schedule for next season, which is extended out to 12 races. Will kick off right after New Year's week in 2023. All right, so the second set of pit stops should be coming here in the next lap or two for the rest of these guys that pitted at the caution, which will be Morera and Oman and Sudik. I'm thinking Oman's going to come here because he's pretty much, he is taking advantage of that caution that came at lap 4, filled up the tank, and basically he's using it as a 5-lap buffer, so to say, of fuel in the car so that he can go full tilt. And you see right now he's pitting at 56. Which is only about 23 laps from his last stint, but when you look at the bank number, that's 2 in the bank, so you still got 3 or 4 laps left on a tank of fuel to get back to the regular number, which will get him to the finish with only 2 stops, but he's able to go full tilt instead of having to kind of back it up to map 3 or whatever to have to save a little bit. So Jesper pulls away. Dan Morera leading this race now. Oman with such a big lead, though, with him going full map 1, that he came out in the 3rd position. That's how fast he is right now. Not having to save fuel. Here comes Morera to pit road. Sudik's going to come with him. So that should finish out the cycle of those who came to pit road. And it'll throw Jesper back up in the lead. And we'll see where he stands now compared to these other cars. It's going to be a pretty big lead. Let's just put it like that. So we watch the Morera pit stop. 3.9 for Dan. So Omen's going to go to the front. There he is, 3.8 ahead of Jose Granado now, the pole sitter there. And then Philip Kraus will be third. And Moran Sudik should come out fifth and sixth. Oh, I love Pocono too. It's a fun track, especially in these cars. A lot of tracks that you wouldn't think are so fun are fun as all get out in an open wheel car. Milwaukee, for example. Obviously here, Pocono, Indianapolis. And hello from Brazil. Hopefully you guys are okay down there. I saw the highlights of F1 qualifying and saw the rain down there. And if I do my calculations correct in my head, it is spring in Brazil, so here's Moreira Sudik and Luke Daniels. They have gotten themselves in a pack. You see Geisler's kind of fallen off of Luke Daniels by only about, 3/4 of a second or so. And we are 2 laps away from the halfway point here in this Pocono 500. Yes, Perlman, if he can win this race tonight, will be 2 for 3 in the Triple Crown. The only one he didn't obviously win was the Indianapolis 500 last month. See Moreira going by Luke Daniels here in turn 1. So once again, I think Luke might be trying to fuel save a little bit. That's why he went ahead and let Dan go. And he's going to kind of ride behind him. Dan, obviously being one of the later cars to pit, has more gas in the tank. Well, maybe not, because Luke pokes back at... I don't know what Luke's doing. Then again, Luke doesn't know what Luke's doing half the time either. Not this guy. There was a caution at lap 5, and basically some of the cars came to pit road at that caution, and one of them was this guy, Omen. And from there, Omen has been, I think, map 1 the whole entire time. Because obviously, with it being about a 25-lap run on fuel, I think Omen has banked in 5 or 6 laps, knowing that he can go just full out map 1, burn up some fuel, and still have laps in the bank to make up for the speed. And that's where he's been able to kind of drive himself out to a 5-second lead. Now, right now, he might be back in map 3, just kind of saving a little bit. With him having a big lead, but he was on full tilt earlier. Sudik going to go around Luke Daniels here, maybe for the 5th position. Nope, Luke's going to hold on right now. I am noticing potentially a battle for the 2nd position coming up here. Granado again starting on the pole, but he's got Philip Kraus. He's starting to climb up him a little bit here. If we look back, there he is. We just passed the 60 lap to go mark, 150 miles. A little past 150 miles, I should say. We're just past the halfway point of the 312 miles and 500 kilometers that we're going to run. In a race that has been dominated for the most part by Jesper Omen. Of course, Granado led a good portion of the early part before his first pit stop. And you see Kraus now starting to roll up on the 80 car here. Guys that are rolling behind Luke Daniels now, so Geisler got back a hold of the little pack there of 3 or 4 cars. Luke's actually kind of fallen off it a little bit. Let's go back here. This is going to be the battle for second that continues on. Omen has added another second to his time. Now 6.5, make that 6.6. And of course the next pit stops are going to be coming here in about 6 laps or so. And it should be Granado going to be the first car coming to pit road. And we're down to 7 cars on the lead lap. You see Krauts has kind of backed off a little bit there, so you wonder if Jose might have been saving just a little bit, which allowed Krauts to catch back up, and now starting to pull back away a little bit. Oh, and Granado might have got the wall right there. That's going to hurt his momentum. Look at Krauts, big run down the straightaway here. So Matthias Kraus up to second. Granado, you got to wonder, did he get the wall? I couldn't tell from the angle. I didn't see sparks or anything like that, so there's no telling. And it looks like he's okay right now. He's hanging pace with the 59. And now Jose's going to come to pit road, lap 72. So now he is short of the 125 mark. He's going to have to find a way to go probably 26 laps or so at least to make it on fuel on one stop. So he must have kept it off the wall because it's pretty clean off pit road. 8.3 second stop. I don't see anybody else on pit road, but I do see the battle here with Geisler and Daniels again. We should see Kraus and Geisler on pit road here shortly. So Jesper 7.7 second lead. Now with Kraus. And Granato did go a lap down after that stop. There's Kraus 7.8 back, and then Dan Herrera 17 seconds back. And Sudik 19.5 back. Nobody else really coming to pit road at all. So the window's open now. As those who come to pit road should be able to make it one stop to the finish. As now Thomas Geisler comes in. The Indianapolis winner pitting from the 6th position. Sebastian Kinder going to come in there behind him. Luke Daniels now coming to pit road, so starting to see the cycle of pit stops. These are all the guys, for the most part, that pitted before the caution. I say mostly because I believe Luke was one that pitted after the caution. Julian Altena, oh, I thought he was going to finally tow his car. Wait a minute, that was Luke's car that blinked. What in the world just happened? 15.6 second stop for Luke Daniels. So I'm not sure if he had some damage or something, or what in the world happened there. All right, here comes Kraus to pit road. Kraus ran that stint 27 laps on a tank. So he showed you how to save a little fuel. And Kraus pulls away. All right, so Kraus, Omen, Morera, Sudik, Moreno, or Moreno, I should say, in Boston, the only 5 not to pit. But when it comes to the lead lap cars, only 3 of them left to pit, and that's your top 3. But Jesper Omen's putting on a clinic out here. And now Jesper comes to pit road, so lap 80, 45 laps to go. With these, should be able to go one stop without a problem here. Matter of fact, he should be able to get to, I would think he's going to split this run probably in half. 44 laps to go. You run 22. That's 103. You tell the pit crew to go pack up, and we'll see you next week. Dan Morera, the Nashville winner, right there on pit road. Got his first VOR win at that caution-free race on a little fuel save. Four tires, fuel, and he pulls away. So Sudik now leads. Let's see when he comes to pit road. It's going to be right now. And now pass the lead back over to Jesper. So here we are, right back where we were. And we'll see where everybody kind of cycles out. Always interesting to see where the undercuts and overcuts potentially happen, or gaps that are built or lost. Yeah, Sebastian Kinder on pit road. So there's your leader. Jesper Omen has a 9.9 second lead now over Granado. There's Jose right there on the back straightaway, and that is Matthias Kraus right behind him there, only about 3/4 of a second behind Granado, but 10.7 back of the second position, or of the leader, I should say. Matthias running in third right now. Dan Morera running fourth, 21 seconds back. And behind Dan, there's Nick Sudik. He just came off pit road, has the fresher tires of everybody in this race right now. And then Thomas Geisler, 27 seconds back. And battle for second is on. Granado has lost the spot. And Matthias Kraus has gone by, so I think Jose's gone into fuel conservation mode. When he saw what lap he pitted on, he realized, I'm about to save a lap or two of fuel here to get to the finish of this race. Sudik has gone by Morera also now for position. So now you got these guys kind of working with each other here and battling for the 4th position. So we got battle for 2nd, battle for 4th. And I don't see really any other cars around each other to battle for position. So So 88 laps complete. 37 to go. There's been the dominant guy here. And the really interesting part about this is Jesper Oman started in 12th. He did not win the pole for this race or has led this whole entire race. He started 12th. We had a caution at lap 5 for Cesar Cabral, and he and a few others came to pit road, and from there he put it in gear and left. And he went through the field, passed them all, and then at the end of the first cycle of pit stops, has led the race since then and has driven away to the 11-second lead you see right now. Matthias Kraus running in 2nd. You see Granado has fallen off the 59, and that is because Jose, I believe, is short on fuel. You know, he pitted at lap number 71, which means he would have to go 54 laps on a tank, which is 27 and 27. And in order to go 27, you got to be in fuel save from the start of the run. And unfortunately, you got to yield some positions when you do that and yield some time. And you see he's giving up the 2nd position. There's Granado right there. Last time by, sees a 42-1, so he's not saving too much. I think he's trying to balance it out from losing time at the same time as saving fuel. It's a very hard balance to do in a race like this, where you got to keep your speed, but at the same time, you want to be able to do as much as you can. And really, the only way to save fuel is to draft or lift. As Sudik is pulled away from Herrera, about 0.8 of a second. There's Jesper Oman, 13.1 second lead now. Luke Daniels has towed to pit road. Not sure what happened to the 98. I don't see any kind of accident or anything on record. He just came to pit road and towed to the pits. So Luke will be the 8th car out of the race now. And 8 cars left on track of the 16 that started. Of course, for those just joining us, this is the 9th race of the VOR IndyCar season. And this is a rebroadcast of a race from a couple weeks ago. I was going to do this race last week before the Long Beach race, but unfortunately was sick all weekend and had to just do the Long Beach race. So the season is actually already over for these guys in the VOR IndyCar series. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of call this race kind of with the whole, this is the point we are in the season deal. But just kind of being honest with everybody, hey, the season's over with, and this is more just to get this out there for people to watch the broadcast of and that kind of thing. As Granado comes to pit road, and you can see by the number he's coming in at lap 95, he is short on fuel by a lot. Jesper Oman did win the championship, of course, for this season. Clinched it last week in Long Beach, overhauling Thomas Geisler in points. Winning his first championship. The question is here, can he win the second or third legs for himself? Unfortunately, won't be able to win all three with Geisler winning the Indianapolis race. But he did win Michigan earlier this season in a pretty exciting fashion, and now looking to put the stamp here at the Pocono Raceway. Appreciate all the viewers watching this afternoon. If you're watching over on the VOR IndyCar page, or if you're on the Captain eSports YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or Twitter, wherever you're watching, 5 different places to watch. We appreciate you very much. So Morera and Sudik still about 0.6 of a second apart. And should be about 4 laps away or so from seeing everybody back on pit road for one final time. One thing I will say, the tires have not fallen off much at all throughout a run here, only about a half a second. So Oman 14.5 second lead. Kraus is second, and then Sudik here now up to the podium spot in the 3rd position. So great, just patient drive for the 87 car, who started back at 13th, and he ran back that way for a little bit. And has just slowly paced himself up in position as Thomas Geisler comes to pit road right at 25 laps to go. And 4 tires and fuel for the Indianapolis winner, and he pulls away 8.4. So we'll see if he's able to get up to any of the other cars he's trying to pass or whatnot here. And Cameron Boston going to come to pit road now. 24 laps to go. Omen on his way to pacing to a victory here. Cameron Boston leaving his pit stall right now, so now it's just a matter of when everybody else comes in, gets that final set of tires, but obviously a green flag look here, it looks like, to the finish. You know, the one caution at lap number 5, the only caution in the last 2 oval races so far. So waiting to see when Kraus and Sudik, all these guys, the window's open now for everybody. But I think with Omen having such a big lead, they don't want to get caught being a lap down here, so they're waiting. I say that, here comes Kraus to pit road. With 22 laps to go. Should mention Sebastian Kinder's taking his car behind the wall also there in the 10th position. And Jesper Omen back there also on pit road now. As Kraus leaves with an 8.2 second stop. Leader in for the final time. And 4 tires and fuel, and he pulls away. So now to the race to the finish, basically, from here. Sudik stays out, and Morera staying out. These guys, knowing them, will probably go as long as they can go and maybe catch a lucky break here. You know, really nothing to lose. They're kind of in a box right now. And right on cue, here comes Sudik to pit road now, so. And Dan Morera comes with him. So everybody coming in within about 5 laps of each other. And set up now to work their way towards the finish of this race. Laps to go. 13.5 second lead now over Philip Kraus. There he is. Jose Granado, I expect to make one more pit stop in this race. Is third, and I would say that a top 5 spot in this race might be in trouble. I mean, he is only about 20 seconds ahead of Thomas Geisler, who's in 6th. So unless Granado gets a caution here, he is likely not going to finish in the top 5 of this race, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Here's Nick Sudik, 23 seconds back right now. Just come off pit road. He's full to go full tilt here. Of course, Dan Marrera back here in the 5th position. Appreciate Dan getting the race over here to me. Actually, had to do it twice because I forgot to download it the first time. So I was like, hey, Dan, I need the race. I was actually going to do this broadcast at like 3 o'clock tonight. But then I realized, oh, I'd never downloaded the race, so I had to wait on Dan. I went took a nap, and Dan finally got back to me because obviously he's a busy man on the weekends too. Here we are, 7 o'clock Eastern time, almost on a Saturday night, doing the broadcast, getting it done with. And that'll catch us up on the broadcast and stuff. But a reminder again is, let's pull it up here on the screen. But this is your, you haven't seen it yet, our schedule for season number 8 coming up. Homestead Miami Speedway, January the 14th. So hopefully you got that marked down. It'll be the weekend, the second weekend after the new year. And of course, Worldwide Technology Raceway, round number 2 right after that. And of course, the 28th is the 24 Hours of Daytona race. That's why there's nothing there. Circuit of the Americas, February the 4th. And then right here, you see a streak of about 4 races lined up. Circuit of the Americas, Iowa, Red Bull Ring, Indianapolis. And after a week off, they come back to the Speedway for the traditional 500-kilometer race. And then the following week, matter of fact, only 2 breaks in the next 6 weeks after that. Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Talladega, Pocono, Long Beach, and Auto Club. Finishing up on the 29th of April for next season. 12 races extended out by 2. Hopefully we'll get people signed up, and hopefully we'll be able to keep the numbers up. Ullman coming up to Cameron Boston. That'll put him a 3rd lap down, I believe, in this race. Cameron gives him the lane, lets him go. And of course, we wind down our broadcast. I should mention, I'm not sure if there's been an update, or I want to go peek at it real quickly on the VOR Discord page. I know that Julian's been working on the 2022 Christmas Cup. Got a few signups for it, so I don't know if it's going to continue or not, but just be aware that will be coming. Unfortunately, I won't be able to broadcast any of the races with work and stuff going to start picking up here for the holidays. But that first season race is supposed to be next Saturday, I believe. So 19th? Yeah, next Saturday at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It'll be Charlotte, Pocono, Phoenix, Michigan, Indianapolis. And it'll be in the Lotus 79 car with 30% fuel tanks, 2 sets of tires, custom fixed setups. And you do go 1 race drop into 5. So not sure if that'll continue on or not. But if you're interested, you could go sign up for that. The Christmas Cup coming up. Starting next week. Again, unfortunately, my being a delivery guy, my schedule really starts to pick up here probably, well, now. And, I don't want to risk any broadcast or anything like that with work coming up and that kind of thing. So we're going to come back at Season 8 in January once everything slows back down and rock from there. So 8 cars on track, and they're all pretty separated out. Of course, on a 2.5-mile triangle, that's a pretty big space to be separated out by. So you see Kraus just coming off turn 3 right now, 14.6 back from Jesper Oman. And there's Jose Granado, who's still probably trying to find a way. I mean, he's got plenty of space back there to Nick Sudik. I would be finding a way to slow that car down a little bit to save a little fuel, or else he'll be back on pit road here shortly. And there's the aforementioned Sudik in the 4th position. Dan Marrera right now in the 5th position. About 10 seconds ahead of Thomas Geisler, who's just going into turn 1. Geisler unfortunately finished second in points this season, but nonetheless, he's got that Indianapolis title now that he can hold on to and say, nobody will ever take this one away from me. As Omen come across the line, 10 laps to go. And one thing I will continue to do, by the way, if you haven't had a chance to, I have been working on a history page for the VOR series. I've already got all the way from Season 3 to Season 7 loaded in to the Dan Lisa or Sim Racer Hub folder, if you will. And hopefully by the beginning of next season, we'll have all the races loaded in, so you'll be able to see the history. But if obviously Jesper can win this race in the next 9 laps, it'll be his 3rd win of the season. And as I mentioned, he won the 40 Raceway Michigan 500 earlier this season to get win number 2 of his career, and then of course the first win in the Triple Crown. And Geisler getting the 500 at Indianapolis, it was round number 2. And if Jesper can get this, he'll be the 3rd. And I do appreciate all the viewers for watching us this season. Appreciate, of course, Julian for all the hard work he does. I tried to help as much as I could and got myself caught up, and I would turn around and be like, oh yeah, I need to make sure like it would get one of those deals. I'd be so busy I would like feel like I'm forgetting about helping VOR out, and I would check in on Julian and stuff, and I actually feel bad about it because I'm like, man, I want to help this man as much as I can because he's putting so much effort into running this league. As here's Granado to pit road, but you know, you put so much effort in, and when you see the numbers of a series starting to kind of fall off a little bit, you feel bad, and it's like, man, what can I do to help? You know, and try to build this thing and keep it built. You know, I'd love to see 25 to 30 cars on the grid come Homestead here in 2 months. I know one thing that people have talked about when I've talked to him a little bit, or if Julian has, I've seen the comments of, you know, obviously a 2 spread out schedule, which is totally understandable. You know, and I know what Julian's trying to do too. He's trying to, it's one of those things where you're trying to make everybody happy. And it's a deal where you have so many, either a real life IndyCar race or a special event, like this weekend, I think it is, or last weekend was the 10 hours of Suzuka, Suzuka. And those kind of events, you got a lot of people that like to go run those endurance events, and it can kill your numbers of a league race and stuff. So, you know, he's trying to work with those events too, and trying to put the schedule together at the right time. And it can be hard sometimes. Omen coming off turn 4, 5 laps to go. And you see Granado came out in the 6th position as predicted. So that's going to be a disappointing effort for the man who won the pole for this race. Omen continuing to just run laps right about 3 or 4 tenths off the pace, and that's it. It shows you what kind of tire wear he's had all afternoon. pretty relaxed, I'd say, too, huh? And it looks like Matthias Kraus, he'll finish in the second position likely in this race, and then Sudik and then Morera will be the 4 cars on the lead lap. At the end of this dominant effort, 5 miles to go for the 2 car. Barring any kind of very weird mistake. Tunnel turn 2 more times. I'm sorry, that's turn 3. It looked like the tunnel turn for a second. Is Omen going to take the white flag? Final lap. He's already, what we used to dub the Isaac Morris weave. He's already doing it. He showed up at the beginning of the season at Texas Motor Speedway, went to victory lane there. Then he went to Michigan, won that race in a pretty historic fashion, which was the first leg of the Triple Crown. And as one song once said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. He's going to win the second leg of the Triple Crown as he smokes the wall a little bit and scores his 3rd win of the season as Omen wins the Pocono 500 in a dominant fashion. God forbid he would have got a meatball there. Here comes Kraus off turn 3. He'll finish 2nd. Sudik will finish 3rd, and last but certainly not least, the car on the lead lap, Dan Morera, backs up his Nashville win with a 4th place run here at Pocono. So, fantastic race from everybody. I think everybody's crossed the line who's on track. See if we get some burnouts from Jesper. And now that I'm pretty much done from my recording studio here in my home, virtually all this, by the way, I get to hop in my plane and fly to wherever my race is tonight for OP. I think it's Talladega. It's one of them super speedways, so it's somewhere in the southeast, unless it's the iRacing Super Speedway. I guess that's in Connecticut somewhere. All right, let's take a look at the results. As Omen wins it over Kraus, Sudik, Morera, Geisler, Granado, your top 6. Diego Pereno, Cameron Boston, Luke Daniels. The rest of these cars behind the wall. Kinder, Altina, Kraus, Strauss, Herrera, Musselman, and Cesar Cabral, unfortunately, was the one caution on lap 4. Other than that, we were clean and green. All 121 laps after that. Pop over here into and just for record, for those watching this race and happen to maybe watch this in chronological order for next season, here's your points as we leave this track and head to Long Beach for the final race. You see Geisler leads Omen by 3, Altina, Sudik, and Matthias Kraus And of course, I kind of shared a little bit ago what happens at the end of the season, but I won't say it anymore, so you guys can go watch the Long Beach race after this and see what happens. But appreciate everybody for working with me, and apologies for, coming down ill and stuff like that and not being able to do this broadcast and stuff, but we got through it. Appreciate Julian and all the guys from the VOR IndyCar series for allowing me to be a part of this. So it's definitely a lot of fun. We're going to head out and go enjoy the rest of the weekend. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!